Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, can y'all hear me? That's on me. Dang. I'm over here sitting, talking. I had it muted. So, anyways, what's good? What's good? What's good? Hope you guys are having a great week, a great start to your week. I'm on the new account here with Funder Pro. Essentially, a Funder Pro is an A-book firm, meaning that as soon as we pass our account, we're going to be funded on the live. They're actually going to fund a live $100,000 account. That means our trades will actually get executed into the markets. It will be actual live capital, not simulated simulated funds like a lot of these firms. Because we're floating good profits on. We're up $7,000 on the month for Nova funding on this funded account, but likely won't be able to get my payout due to a consistency rule. So it's just wanting to work with a firm that doesn't fault a trader for being a good trader. Don't make me play with inside the boundaries of some rules that are made simply that don't show or prove or mean anything in terms of being a consistent actual consistent trader. Because if they were, it wouldn't be based on a lot size. It would be based on, your percent risk on the account, which doesn't. Yeah, so it's neither here nor there. Nonetheless, working with a new firm. Still going to trade these other firms that I have. It's just I want something that I don't have to worry about if I'm going to get paid out. All right. As a bonus, my Saints went and demolished the Cowboys. Here in America, we got American football. And my Saints went and demolished the Cowboys 44-19. So it was already a start to a great week. And just how they dominated, we got to dominate this week. So let's get into what we're looking for today. So the previous 4-hour candle just closed bullish on EURUSD. That means our bias today is looking for buys. Now, let's take a look at gold here. Gold on the previous 4-hour time frame actually did close as a bearish candle, but you can see it's getting that reject. Well, it hasn't. This candle hasn't closed yet, but on trading view here, the previous candle did close as a bearish candle, but that doesn't matter. What we're looking at and what we're going to focus on today is EURUSD. So you can see that the previous 4-hour just closed bullish. That is a great sign. That means that within this wave here, price is creating higher highs and higher lows. Let's go down to the smaller time frame so we can indicate where we would look to potentially take our entry. So you can see price is in a bullish trend here. We got a high, a low, a higher high, a new low created. And we can see that continuation for a break of this high. Now that first entry there is already looked like it is dead and gone. That was not in our session time. So what was our previous 4-hour candle low? Let's mark out our previous 4-hour candle low, which is here, which is what we don't anticipate to be broken. You can see that is our resistance level here that we're currently at. So where we're at now, coming off of that previous 4-hour candle, you see how price is reacting off of the demand zone here on the 1 minute time frame. Let's go ahead and mark out this on the 1 minute time frame. You can see how price reacted off of this zone here, immediately started to push up, and it's likely that this can make a move for a high. So what we're going to be patient for is if this does in fact make this move for a high, to break the 4-hour high before we can potentially get a scalable entry, because I would only really want to see a scaling entry from down here. What I'm anticipating is a 4-hour continued bullish move. A steeper push to the downside down here would cause for a steep bottom wick for the current 4-hour candle, which is what I would likely want to see for me to be able to take my entries. But if we take a look here, you can see how price has tapped into this level and rejected off of this level, creating a new higher high. So what I want to see now is potentially a push back into this level. Maybe we can scale in on the trade there for a continued bullish move to the upside. That's what I'm anticipating. That's what I'm going on. If we take a look at the DXY, well, you guys can't see the DXY because it's not on here. Let's go like this. All right, so let's go to the DXY here. Let's go to products. There we go. So if you take a look at the DXY, let's go to it. You can see the DXY has some gaps to the upside that need to be filled. So this area here needs to get filled. This area here needs to get filled. So this likely can be a short term or shorter time frame trade. Now what happened here? The DXY did in fact close bullish on the previous 4-hour candle. So that's some signs to note that price could potentially push up and start to make that push to the upside. But what we're seeing here on the smaller time frame, is that price is in what it would be considered a corrective structure. You started to slow up here. We started to see some type of volume to the upside. This is beginning a correction that could likely push down again. And it could push all the way up here to get this gap and this gap. Price just hasn't shown that it's quite ready to do that as of right now. So we'll be looking at that there. Yeah, so that's where we're going. That's what we're coming off of for this session. That's what we're looking at for this session. So let's pull back up the chart here. All right, there we go. So what I want to see, let's see what we can see on the 5-minute time frame. So it's looking like this 5-minute time frame is just going to give this entry for a continued move to the upside. I don't necessarily like this play right here. I don't like trading in the middle of a structure. But if you can see on the smaller time frame here, price is creating higher highs and higher lows. So the structure is in fact bullish, and the most immediate level is where, you know, kind of where we're at now, with a stops below here for a continued move to the upside to scale in. But I would prefer to get in at a premium zone, a more premium entry location. And price may not give that, you know, price may not give that. But I don't want to take my first entry to, oof, this 30-minute looks beautiful though. Or this 15. Previous 30 closed as a bearish candle, okay. Previous 1 hour closed bullish, previous 4 hour closed bullish. So this could just be a small bottom wick for this to now flip up. Let's see how this candle closes here in the next 50 minutes. This would be what, a 20 pip Leon, 22 pips. 22 pips is likely a 5 hot. Oh, not 22. 2. Let's go 20. Even with the 20. Let's go. Alright, I just wanted to check the leverage on this account. It's 1 to 50. So let's see here. Yeah, it's looking like that's going to be what it's going to be. So if we can get another pullback down into this area, I'll look to potentially scale in for a continued bullish move. Because if you figure this 15-minute candle is now flipping bullish, and it's likely that it can continue with the volume from this 1 hour, I just would really love to see a steeper move to the downside before looking to take this entry. But price does not have to push steeper to the downside. Just really wanting to see how this current 4-hour candle closes. What is gold looking like here on the 5-minute? Looking pretty sloppy. It looked like it just created a new low though. From here, price is creating lower lows and lower highs. It looked like you can potentially get a continuation. I'm not too inclined to selling gold though, because it has just been immensely bullish for some time now. You've seen that we had last week, we created all-time highs up here at 25, like 89 levels. 25.89 levels. So let's take a look here for EUR USD. We may have to look for a scalable entry from where we're at. Let's see. So let's move this down here. Come on now. So I am gonna buy here at a point. Oh no, that's 1%. Let's go at a 0.5. 12.5. Oh wow, I got a terrible execution price. Okay, so I'm in at a 0.5 risk to reward on this trade, looking for price to target back up to these highs. As terms of my, let's see, yeah, my execution price, not the best execution price up here, but that is what it is. So we're gonna come down to here. We're gonna edit the position. If it lets me edit it. Oh, it's over here. So I need my take profit to be set at 1.1. Let's see, 1.1324. So this is a scale-in trade to a what does that say? Confirm. This is a scale-in trade to an already bullish move. And what I'm banking off of is that this current well, this is my actual trade here, not as appealing because this is where we got actually entered in at. So not the best in terms of entry, but you know, you got to deal with what you deal with as we trade this smaller time frame. So we're looking at about a 1-to-1 risk to reward. So we're looking at, like, let's say, it's like a 1-to-1 on the dot. So we're looking at about $600 profit, because what do we got risk? $600 risk. Yeah, so we're looking at about a $600 profit, looking for the next 4-hour candle high to be broken, or the previous 4-hour candle high to be broken. It's like I said, not the best entry in terms of where we actually got in at. I'm not too thrilled about that. I also don't like getting a bad entry on a scale in play like how this is, because this is essentially a scale in play where I would have wanted to get my dime piece entry is down in this level for a potential move to the upside. But you know, we might not have that. So we're going to execute on what we got here, and then we'll go forward. What I wanted to so we'll execute on what we got going on here, and then we'll continue to move forward. But yeah, since I take it, and since this is technically a scale-in trade, I didn't want to take it at a 1% risk. This is going to be at a 0.5% risk, just as I would take a scale-in trade, and that's due to it being technically quote unquote higher risk. And why would it be quote unquote higher risk? Even though I really wanted to be, my entry should have been somewhere in here for, like, you know, a 1-to-2 risk reward, where it looks like we're only going to be able to get, you know, about a 1-to-1 on this trade, which is not bad. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but it's just as far as the execution, where you get in at and where you get taken out at, it's just kind of, so you got to roll with it. But we're starting to get some volume. In a normal market structure, if I was in down here, I definitely would be stops to break even on that original trade. This trade, even if I was up here, I was still, I probably wouldn't modify this trade, but I definitely would, you know, want to see this continue to push up. And this will be our continuation play. 1-to-1 risk to reward, not the best, but not a bad risk to reward in terms of the trade and what we just have for the session. You know, we got to execute on what the session gives us. And so if this session does give us this 1-to-1 up here, risk to reward, I may take another trade at a 0.5 if we break this high and see if we can't get one more move to the downside for a continued bullish push to the upside to break whatever the high is that is now that gets formed, you know, that essentially will get formed. So now it's just a waiting game. We just got to sit here and wait. Last night, I guess since we're here, last night I sent a trade out to the private Telegram. We was talking about a gold buy. So we was looking at gold buys. Let's see what day. It was last night. What's today? Okay, hold on. So this isn't going to line up right because the 4-hour candles look a little bit different on here. 4-hour candle closed a little bit later. 1800, 22. So, okay, so this 4-hour candle had just closed bullish, right? We're looking for price to continue pushing bullish. And I was looking at like a 1-minute scale-in trade. It was a beautiful scale-in position that would have went to full take profit. I want to say... Man, I'm gonna have to show it to you guys so that you guys can see it. Let's go back to EU real quick. I'm gonna show it to you guys. Let's just go back to EU real quick. We're looking like we're getting some profits. All right, so we're going up. We're about to hit take profit. I really wish I would have had the 1-to-2 on this trade, but I just got a less than ideal entry. But it is what it is. We can't complain. You guys see the profits down here. We're running about a 0.5 risk to reward, and this is just a funding challenge. We're not on the funded account yet. What I am gonna do with this is I'm gonna just move my stops to break even, protecting myself from loss, you know, and then we're gonna just hold to that final take profit. So is that did it modify? You gotta hit confirm. Okay, there we go. So now we just got to wait and see if we can't get the volume to push up and break through this area here. Not, like I said, not the ideal entry that we would have wanted on this trade, but, you know, a solid move, I guess you can say, nonetheless. And we've been able to now secure our risk on the trade. So if we do get taken out here, because price looks like it's pulling down pretty steep from this level, if we do get taken out, then that's just what it's going to be. Okay, well, we were taken out for a slight loss. Let me see. I normally like moving my stops to break even in profit so that we can avoid getting those slight losses. Where do I go on this? All right, close positions. So yeah, an $87 loss, not ideal. Yesterday took a trade. Oh, okay, hold on. So yesterday on this gold trade, I was break even on the trade, but it ran to take profit. I just prematurely moved stops to break even, and it was entirely my fault. So price had it was right here. So the previous 4-hour candle had closed as a bearish candle, and let me look at you real quick, see how she rejects, because it's likely that this is just gonna fill this to the upside and push back up. I want to see if it's gonna do it, but it came to that level of demand here. So if it doesn't want to push up, it doesn't have to, but I want to see if price is just gonna fill this wick to the upside and we see this start to run long here throughout this session. Because that's looking like that's what it's going to be. It's looking like what that's going to be the case today. There. Okay, so let's go back. So we were creating higher highs and higher lows. I wanted to get my position. Okay, yeah. So price was in this market structure. Previous 4-hour candle had just closed bullish. I initially wanted to get my position when price came back into this level, but it broke through, did the retest play here, and then it pushed up and created a new high. It's like, I bet. So it pushed down, when it created this new high, I'm like, all right, I want to wait and see for price to come here. I'm gonna get my entry. So when price tapped into here and it closed bullish, I got my entry. I wanted to see a break of that high on the smaller time frame. You take a look at the 1 minute time frame. Got a less than ideal entry on this one as well. This is where I wanted to see price react off of. This is where I took my entry. This is where they executed me on my entry, is at 81.22. So 81.22 up there, stops below, and then a target back up this high. So I moved stops to break even prematurely. We had started to get this spike here, and then I moved stops to break even, tagged me out at break even, and then went up to our full take profit. So that's what it is. Likely what EU could potentially do. So break even trade for EU, that less than ideal entry, and then just this negative. I mean, and this on the long run doesn't mean all too much, but it doesn't. I like to just not lose especially if I'm moving stops to break even to protect the loss. There's no reason why we should, lose a little bit of profits there. If anything, moving in profits a little bit. Let's see, entry price, or this is my exit price. Where's my entry price? 1.11272, 1.11272. So basically losing in fees just on the lot size alone. So $100 in fees, but that's what you get when you trade these smaller time frames and these smaller time frame moves. You have to put these larger lot sizes on it, and it costs to play the ball. So this is break even. Oh, I didn't even take it on my other account. I'm so focused on growing this one that I didn't even take it on none of my other accounts, and it kind of happened a little fast, but it is what it is. All right, so what are we looking for now? Still the same thing. I think now the best play to wait for is for price to just break this high and come back down and give us one more retest. That's just what it's going to be, and that'll likely be the moves for today. That the next likely move for today that I'll look to take for that continued bullish move to the upside there. We have a lot of volume this week, so much volume. So expect big moves, big market movements this week, because we have a ton of news. Let's go through a little bit here, some of the news that we have for this week. So let's go to my FX book. Where are we going? Economic calendar. This this 30-minute time frame looks good for price to continue pushing up and breaking that high. It looks good for it. I don't like that price keeps opening and closing with gaps though, but I digress. Let me show you guys this here. So on my FX book, let's go to property. You can see that today, relatively nope, we got NY Empire State Manufacturing news that released. So we got a little bit of volume, nothing crazy though for today. Tomorrow we have retail sales, and I believe we have some Euro news. So yeah, ECB, or I guess it's ZW Economic Sentiment Index. So this is the news for tomorrow for the EU. But we have FOMC this week, so that is something to be very, very, dutifully noted. It's looking like JPY, yeah, nothing crazy. And then Wednesday is when we have FOMC. Now, FOMC for me is that generally all of our news events come out at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. This one, FOMC, comes out at 2 o'clock. So we got FOMC this week. Have to be on the lookout. We're gonna be trading our high volume, and since this comes out at 2 o'clock. Oh, Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Oh no, Wednesday at 2 o'clock doesn't work. I just realized that I scheduled a meeting for Wednesday at 2. That I'm gonna actually have to change. me send it over now, actually. Because he said, what, Wednesday? Yeah. All right. I just had to send that out to them so that they know that, Tuesday or Wednesday is not going to be good because we're going to be trading for that meeting. So, all right, what's going on now? You see prices heading to our target. So what can we learn from the trade that we took? For one, the system definitely works, Two, maybe likely a premature stops to break even again. Same with yesterday's trade. And that seems consistent for the past couple of trades that we've taken on just not even on this account, but just on the other account as well. Just the trades that we've taken in general. That seems to be a reoccurring thing. So what we're going to do going forward is we're just going to hold it. We're just going to hold it, especially if it's a continuation trade like this is. We're coming off of that previous 4-hour candle closing bullish. We want to see the 4-hour high get broken and then a continuation of that move. It's likely that we could see that continue and push bullish there. No worries. I'm not going to trip over it. We got a break-even trade, relatively speaking, You can see with yesterday's trade, $24 profit, and you get $3 because of fees, which are going to happen. So that's neither here nor there. But going forward for this trade, what do we see? We see a push up. We want to see a break and come back down. So let's go and see. Let's refine it to the 5-minute time frame. We might have to refine to the 1 minute. Yeah, so it's looking more like resistance here is where we want to see price come back to tap into for a continued bullish move. And price doesn't have to come back to this level. It could do a shallow break and then a shallow retest. But as far as going forward, this is what I'm anticipating for the next move, and we'll look to capitalize off of that move and end today off on a positive day, a positive note. If not, we take the little break even fees for our trade, the cost of playing the game, and go forward. Yeah, it's definitely going to break the high. So just holding that trade, just holding it longer, not moving stops to break even so quick is the only improvement I would make on that trade. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Here, hold on. So I gotta keep the chat up. There we go. All right. So you can see that EU just hit that final take profit level there that we were looking for to get hit. So what I'm looking for is a 5-minute retest or a retest back into this level for a continued bullish push up. And just not moving stops to break even so early prematurely. It was consistent with what we've seen with yesterday's trade here. Today's trade, the same thing. Targets get hit, we're not in on it, and that's a human error, and that's an improvement that I personally need to correct and justify, or not correct, justify, but correct going forward. So we'll look for the next scale in play. The day is not done. Targets are being hit. The markets are in fact moving. We're gonna look for this scale in play here. So we're gonna have to wait a little bit. Hopefully we don't have to wait too long, but this is gonna be the next initial move for me. And I look to take this trade at a 1%. So I took the other trade at a 0.5 because it was a scale in trade, and we ended up getting a less than ideal entry location due to spreads But that's just the name of the game. There's no worries about that. 272 is where I had my entry at. I wanted to get in right here within this candle, and then got executed at, well, wait, hold on. Entry price 211272. Yeah, so got a very less than ideal entry location for that move there. It was not the it was just not it. In terms of our actual entry location. Our stop loss was set below this low, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and we were looking at about a 1-to-1 based on what we were able to secure in terms of our entry. Where we was actually executing was more closer to a 1-to-2 risk to reward, which is what I like to see. So a good trade, a good setup, break even yet again, and I gotta correct that. And it's okay. It's just one day out of a whole bunch and one trade out of a whole bunch, and we're looking for our next hot and juicy move. It's good to build that confidence in the system, though, that you see that these trades work and they play out and all of this thing. Now, in the area to be at, the problem we have is a good problem to have, Now it just comes down to securing and executing to the full potential. So two positive trades that could have been executed on, but didn't, or were executed on but prematurely moved stops to break even. We gotta just roll with that. And you gotta excuse me, man. My nose has been going crazy today, up and down. Or it's just been running all crazy. Like, I don't know what it is, like allergies or something. It's not even allergy season. Had to bust down the AP. Yep, so just gotta wait here. Just gotta wait. Be patient. We gotta be patient, man. We gotta be patient. Let's take a look at gold. Let's take a look at gold. Gilda looking like she's gonna make a push for a move higher. Yeah, that looks like what she's doing here. Let's see if we can remove our drawings. Yeah, EU is looking like what we're going to be trading. So we're just going to trade EU. I'm going to also pull this up. So first trade, break even. Move stops to break even too quick. You can see now it just hit the take profit target. Not an ideal entry for the scale in play for the continuation. But it was a scale in, so we took it out of 0.5. And then look for price to go to this target. Went to this target. Now we got to look for additional scaling that we could potentially capitalize on within this session. So still early on into the session. Still early. Still early, but price is absolutely ripping right now. Not seeing that same volume on gold. But are looking good in terms of structure on gold. So if gold breaks these highs right here, we could potentially be looking for a scale in for that continuation. I mean, realistically, price is in a bearish trend, which is why I wouldn't be looking to scale in as of right now for this move to the upside, because where we're at currently, price could flip off of. But we see here, as indicated by EURUSD, that there is some bearish volume coming into the markets for the DXY. Because that's the reason why we see EURUSD pushing up the way we see it. Gold and EU are the only pairs that I trade. And more so because they're the only pairs that I have to trade, if that makes sense. Like, I will used to trade every USD pair, and realistically it just takes, like, we couldn't be sitting here watching every single pair. We could shuffle through them, of course, but actively watch and keep an eye on every single pair and every single trade setup, it's just overwhelming, and it's not necessary in terms of being able to capitalize on a single move in a day. If I'm only looking to take 1 to 2 trades a session, then it's no point in waiting for or to be looking at so many different markets. And then since then, I've seen that my profit has not only increased, but the stress has also decreased, and it's just made the process so much simpler to only focus on these. I started to understand how they move. We know that the 9 o'clock candle or the 10 o'clock 1 hour candle for EUR USD generally gives the most volume in the day. This is why I'm anticipating price to scale back down into this level and then make a continued bullish push up, because I believe that 10 o'clock candle for EUR USD, well, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, is going to give us some type of volume in turn. So that's why I want to wait for right now for price to scale back down to this level, and then I'll look to take an entry from here when it stops below a target back of the high. We can get a 1 to 2.58 hopefully on that trade there, and so I'm gonna risk 1% risk, which would be $1,000 on this account. First trade break even, or first trade break even, second trade break even. This is just due to fees right here, because you can see the P&L on the trade was back at even. So yeah, so that's why I only trade EU and gold. It just is no point for me to be looking at a whole bunch of different markets when I can only execute on one at a time. So I got 2 markets that are generally, if one doesn't have something, then the other one does. We seen that of last week. EU was looking kind of slow, and so we took a look at gold, and gold had a move that we were able to scale into and capitalize on for when it was making, these all-time highs last week. So Friday, yeah, so 13. And my first initial move for gold wanted to be when price pushed up from down here, but I couldn't get that because that happened before, we started our session. And not that I couldn't have taken the trade off a session, but I wanted to trade in session. So we scaled into gold on the 5-minute after that move up. So price had made this move to the upside, came back down, pushed back up, came back down. I think I actually scaled into this trade, and it's documented. So I'll be posting it this week for episode, I think it's episode 10 of the Trader Journey. Trader Journal is day 10. But it was just essentially a scale in place somewhere within, okay, right here. So price had pushed up. It pushed up with volume, came back down. It pushed up again. Didn't get this initial entry. So I didn't get this initial entry. But when price broke that high right here, it came back to scale into, no. I didn't get this initial entry. Thank you. I'm all messed up. So price pushed up, pushed down, pushed up, pushed down. It didn't, when it pushed up here, it didn't come back down to my level, and then it pushed up immensely. So I'm like, oh, dang. So I'm like, all right, well, since we didn't get that, we got to get this scale in play. And so price tapped into here. We went ahead and took our entries, set our stops below, and targeted the high. And that was the trade. It was a little bit better than that. That was the trade for last week. So let's take a look at EU, see if we get in any of that correction. Getting a slight correction, nothing too crazy. I really want to see these 5-minute candles, like how this previous 5-minute candle closed, to close bearish and just start to make this move to the downside here. If price just does this shallow break and then we start to see it continuing to go up, then we'll dial down to the smaller time frame and look to scale in on these higher highs and higher lows. But as of right now, I want to see this 5-minute candle close bearish and we start to see ourselves form this corrective structure for price to come back down, at least back into these levels here, reject off of these levels, and then we'll go target a high for a 2.58 risk to reward on that trade there. So let me see. So we just gotta wait. We just have to wait. And realistically, two 15-minute candles to come back and push down here is likely what I would want to see. So two bearish 15-minute candles, we start to see the 1 minute or the 5 minute form bullish from this level. That'll be a great sign for me. Right now, we got a shallow break and a retest play looking like it's going on. I really want to see this 5 minute candle close bearish so that we can make a steeper move to the downside. So we can scale into this trade and finish this day off with a little bit of profits there, with securing a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So we're gonna look for about $2,500 on this trade, which will likely, let's see, be, let me see what my stop loss and pips is. So it's looking like my stop loss and pips is gonna be 6 pips. Oh man, hold on. I want to say it's gonna be somewhere north of like a 20, like a 40 lot maybe. Count size, risk ratio, later. I'm gonna risk about 1%. Stop loss and pips is gonna be 6. Oh, that's not bad at all. Okay, so 16.67 is going to be what looks to be our stop loss here, or our lot size. So let me put that in, and I gotta move this to where this is like, because my camera is really in the way of my execution here. Going forward, we can't do this. 16.67. It used to be right here. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to get it from. Let's see. Oh, there it is. All right, cool. Stop loss is going to be here. We're not gonna go pending, but I want to make sure that this is right. We're not going to execute on this pending limit. I just want to make sure that my stop loss is in fact correct. Risk. No. Oh, no. Heck no. 16.67. Okay, yeah, that's consistent right there. So we're not going to set a limit, so to speak. But I just wanted to make sure that from this area that my risk was right. Consistent. Let's go 16.60. Let's just go 16.40. Yep. All right. So we're not going to do pending. We're just going to execute when price reaches our level. And then we'll set our TP to be up here. Skadoosh. Continuation play. And then we're going to hold for the long game. You guys, we're going to hold and go from there. So this is a good sign from this 15-minute. This is what I wanted to see, or this 5-minute, shall I say, the past 2 5-minute candles. This is what I wanted to see. I definitely want to see a continued move to the downside. I don't want to see it just hold up right here at resistance. I want to see it make a steeper move to the downside. I scale into that trade. What time is it? 9:46. Yeah, scale into that trade. We hold to take profit, and we'll call it a day. So let me actually set this up on my other accounts as well, so that we're not lacking. We can't be slacking and lacking, man. We got to be on this. So I was already slacking and lacking for the first one. Can't catch me with my pants down twice. Oh no, hold on. URUSD. We're gonna be looking at probably 16 times 2 is 32. We're gonna look for a buy position off of down here. I really don't want to see it reject off of where it's at. I'd love to see a steeper move to the downside. And then I'm gonna put my protection orders already for when we get here. 1.11156, 1.11156. Take profit is going to be at the continuation of the high, so that's 1.11373. All right, so I'm not entering the position yet. We haven't reached our key levels that we want to see price reach yet, but I'm prepared. So that all I just have to do is hit send order when price gets to the area, taps into our level, and it could just come to this level here, and if it do, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna have to equate for it. I'm actually gonna go 16 solid for this one. Just to accommodate for that if we don't see that move to the downside there. So it's looking like it's getting some bullish structure off of, okay, so you can't see it on here, but I can see it on the 5-minute time frame. You can see it's getting some bullish structure off the previous resistance level here. You see price pushed into this level, created that high. Price is pushing with volume. If we modify this here, this might just be the trade. Yeah, this might just be the trade here. So it'll be about what is that, a 1-to-1? I really want to see a steeper move to the downside, but based on this 1-minute structure, it just might be what it's gonna be. So we'll set stops below here at like 3.5. How's this 5-minute looking? This 5-minute isn't looking so hot, but this could just reject off of how it's pushing now. It doesn't have to even do that. It can go from right here. All right, so I'm gonna go long. I went long on one position. Send order. We'll rearrange our stops on this other one. Positions, modify, stop loss. 1.11254. So 1.11254. Modify. 1.11254. So how much risk do I have on this trade? $700 risk. All right, I'll take it. If price gives us a steeper move to the downside and breaks through this low here, then we'll probably look at one more plausible position. Yeah, it's looking like it's just filling this wick to the downside here. Not even giving it off of that level. Let's see if this low gets broken on the 1 minute. If the low doesn't get broken on the 1 minute, this still can remain valid. But so it's kind of like give and pull here, give and take here. Because what we see now is that price is in fact pushing to this downside, right? We are pushing on rejecting off of this level here, which is where we essentially got our entry off of, and price is in fact pushing to this downside, and it could make a steeper low coming off of the previous 5-minute candle. Why I took my entry at this level is specifically because price created a higher high at this level here. So we have a push up, a push down, and a push up creation of a new high up here. So where price could react off of, and if it was going to continue pushing bullish, it could go from where it's at currently. It doesn't necessarily have to push all the way back to our entry location where we wanted to see price go to down here. So that's why I went ahead and just executed on this position at the spot that I executed on, looking for price to go to this take profit up here. So that is essentially, this will likely be the last trade I take on the day, good or bad, because I will have used my allotted risk on the day, or for the session at least. And we don't want to go outside of the session and outside of the system here. So let me let's go to my positions. Let's go ahead and modify this position, and we're going to move our take profit to a position. How do I edit this? Oh, okay, there we go. So our take profit, oh no, our take profit is already set. So okay, so we're set. There's nothing left for me to do for this trade but to let it play out from here on out. So that's what we're gonna do here. See if we can get this low to be respected and rejected off of. Currently not liking the price action, but we can still get that continued flip for a move off of this area, which is, this is all I want to see, is a flip. And that would essentially make this play that we got here a retest play, you know, similar to what we were seeing earlier, looking for earlier. We got ourselves a little bit of a retest play. Not the best in terms of, you know, what I actually want to do, but or not the best in terms of entry. I'm not saying entry location, but it's not the best risk to reward setup in terms of, you know, having this essential retest play. But, you know, price doesn't have to push all the way back down to our key demand zone. It can just form that retest play and that continuation, and that's what I want to see. You know, coming off of, you know, this area that we're at, this area of interest that price is currently moving at. So let's see if we can go to our full take profit. We just got a good 5-minute candle closure. I think that's a great sign that price could push up from this level. But we just got to wait it out, you know. This is going to be a waiting game. And all we're looking to do is target these highs up here. Is there a way I can like hide this? No. I guess the only way to hide it is to like bring this out, huh? And then I'll lose a little bit of my, it is what it is. Alright, so now we just gotta wait. We just gotta wait. Make sure everything is proper though. Make sure everything is proper. Stop loss is 254, 1.11254. Beautiful. Take profit 173 or 373. Beautiful. Yeah. Only thing left to do now is just to wait, man. Just to wait. Equity, you can see down about another 100 in equity, so they're gonna take about 100 in fees for this trade alone, on top of the, what, let's say It says 768. So yeah, that's good. That's what I wanted to risk. About 1% of the total account, including the including whatever the fees may have been. So I am tired. I am tired. Let me tell you. But this train don't wait for nobody. It does not wait for anybody. So we're looking at about a what is this? Still with the less than ideal entry locations. We're looking at about a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward on this trade here. And we're going to be looking like only about 1%. Oh yeah, this 1 minute time frame not looking the best in terms of being able to hold this level. I just need to see this level get held for price to continue pushing bullish. You see the volume that we got here coming off of this 1 minute. Not the best in terms of what we wanted to see with this current trade. And you know, price can still, like we said, push to that retest zone down here, which is our premium zone. What we looked to get in on was the retest entry for a continued bullish push at this area because it lines up with the smaller time frame here. If you see that this here, you can see this is our previous high, or what pushed for our continued high. So price pushed up here, created a high, broke this high, broke this high. We're seeing a corrective structure. Why we could see a steeper corrective structure is because this is technically our bullish start. So price can still remain in a bullish wave and still push bullish as long as it doesn't break this previous low, which is the start of the low that broke for this high here. But we wanted to get in on this retest play, essentially based on the 15-minute time frame, kind of anticipating that this current 1 hour or 15-minute time frame goes to get a top wick in some way, shape, or form. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold. We're just gonna hold. You know, we're gonna just sit here. We're gonna hold. And we gotta take, you know, you gotta take the good with the bad. It's a part of this markets. You know, it's a part of this experience. It's a part of the journey to deal with, you know, adversity at times. So you can see that this 1 hour candle is looking like it's going to close bullish here. I definitely don't want to see a steep bottom wick from the next 1 hour candle, but I want to definitely see, you know, a bottom wick form and then this continuation for price to fill this wick there. And that'll give us our 1 to 4.9 risk to reward on the trade. If price comes down, pushes through this 1 hour low, then, you know, we know we're going to see a steeper move to the downside. Kind of what we're seeing now. See if we can hold up at resistance here. Getting close to our stop level, and it's looking like we're about to get stopped. Yep, so we just got taken out. All right. Not, oh, wait, whoa. Hold on. See? Nova didn't execute me at where I wanted to get executed at. I gotta go to it. So I think this is the first real loss we've had in the past 3 weeks. The first one that really just, you know, everything abides by a system. Yeah, we see that we price could probably, and probably what it's going to do, that first initial move is come back to our key retest level here and then continue pushing bullish. I have, let's see, how much did I on the day? 98.93, so it's looking at a little bit over close position. Yeah, it took about a 97 total, even though it said 7 it said my actual P&L when my stop loss was about 700, because I equated for this 100 that they was gonna take in fees. Maybe it's like spreads, so spreads add another 100 and then fees another 100, down a total of 1% on the account so far. So not how we wanted to start this off. 2 trades that pushed a full take profit that ended up being break-even trades, and then a third trade that wound up being a loss on the day. So not the fire start I would have wanted for the week. And I think we still, yeah, price is still good to push up. Like this previous 1 hour candle closed bullish. Let's see. And what we don't want to do is be emotional. Turn something that was not so good into something that could be worse purely off of emotions. It's not about what we feel that markets are going to do. It's about what we see, you know. And so what I do see is that on the 15-minute time frame, we are creating higher highs and higher lows. We knew that this was our retest zone initially, and price created a new high, pushed back down. So what are some confluences that price can still push to the upside? Well, your previous 4 hour, we know, came off a previous 4 hour bullish closure, right? We wanted to see this new 4 hour candle get broken. Previous 1 hour closed bullish. Previous 30 is within this bullish structure, so we can see cleaner on the bullish structure here, there. So you can see price pushed up, pushed down because it created lower lows and lower highs. Then it pushed up and broke this high. So this is that key low that we were talking about there, and we took our trade in the retest play, you know. But ultimately, where can price go? Price pushed up, broke through that high, came back down, retested into demand. So now this is our new hot zone. Price pushed up, came back down, or price pushed up is coming back down. This was that premium zone that we were looking for here, initially, for price to go up. So I may, and this is out of character for me, I may scale in one more additional position on the 5-minute time frame if the 5-minute candle closes bullish. And that's only because of the structure, not simply because of the system, but because of the structure. So, and I'm not going to take this on this account. So I'm going to take it on my Nova account that I haven't traded yet, actually. Because essentially I've used up my risk percentage, or my risk percentage for this session, for this trade there. Let's take a look here. And price is just coming down right now. I'm gonna have to take a look at the DXY. Trading. Let me pull up the DXY. Let's see what the DXY is doing. I mean, the DXY is still relatively bearish. There's no real, I mean, the previous 4-hour candle did close bullish, which is actually something that should be noted. The previous 4-hour candle closes bullish without, wait, did it break this low here? Without breaking the previous key low on the 4-hour time frame. So, and then we do have these gaps to the upside. I know you guys can't see my screen here. Let me see. Oh man, hold on. So if you take a look on, so the previous 4-hour did in fact close bullish for EU, or not for EU, but for the DXY. We got that bullish closure. We have these gaps to the upside, and price didn't break this key low down here as it started to close bullish. We could see that these gaps start to get filled now, which would invalidate where we were at on EURUSD and make it to where we do push steeper to the downside. And if that's the case, getting beat off of a change of character is not something that I'm worried about, because if this does in fact come down to break through these lows, like we're getting some, hold on. we're getting some rejection off of this level now, which is our key zone. But if this level gets broken through, then that just means that this is a change of character. And the change of character is the one reason why we would lose a trade, or should be the one reason why we lose a trade. Unless we're taking these retest plays. So retest plays are already more risky. Should I have scaled in at a 0.5 instead of a 1%? I think so. To save that 0.5, that additional 0.5 for my actual entry, which will give me a better risk to reward, that would cover that loss if we do see this. So now I've already used my risk potential for today, because I'm only going to risk $1,000 or 1% on this. And actually, I'll likely scale down and use 5% or 0.5% until we get back into our targeted profit. But it just depends. This is kind of how I want to go about this account personally. And I think what we're gonna see here is potentially that change of character start to form. So if that change of character starts to form, that changes the overall structure. I still like that this previous 4-hour candle closed bullish, and the fact that we are at this key level of resistance and we're starting to show some type of, nothing crazy, but price is showing some type of rejection off of this level here. Let's zoom it up. Let's take a look at the 1 minute time frame. So yeah, the 1 minute time frame is getting some type of bullish reaction after tapping into our resistance level. Let's go to the 5 minute. We have resistance here. And if this current 5 minute candle closes bullish, then that continued bullish move for price to break this high is still valid. Like I said, this structure is in a bullish market structure. Price pushed up, pushed down, created a high, came back down to the demand zone, and is rejecting off of that level. It can flip and continue pushing bullish from this level here. Now, what would cause it to not do that, or such thing, is if this DXY continues to buy. And if the DXY continues to buy, then that is not going to matter about this structure. This will get broken through. We'll see a change of character and likely a continued move to the downside for a steeper push down here for EUR USD. Because you can see here that price has been creating higher highs and higher lows, and we have not yet gotten a full corrective structure. And like I said, if this low gets broken, our trade is just invalid in general. And generally, you don't see it get broken. Like I said, we just took our first true loss in the past, 2 weeks. And it was on a retest play. So a less probable play, which is why we would reduce risk generally for that continued move to the upside. So let's see if this 4-hour or this 5 minute candle is going to close bullish or not. Closes bearish. Okay, you can see a steeper move to the downside. But based off of how... Yeah, steeper move to the downside. And the DXY, that doesn't show any signs that, it's going to flip. The previous 4-hour candle for the DXY just got broken. So it's likely that we could see that this is just a sell move to the downside for today. Let's see what happened on gold. Yeah. So previous 4-hour for gold, if you take a look, well, this is a little bit different. Because the previous 4-hour on TradingView for gold closed bearish. Well, it hasn't closed yet. Yeah, the structures look completely... Well, I'm not going to say the structures, but how candles open and close. This is essentially an hour behind. And then this one I'm looking at looks like it's 2 hours behind. Oh, no, I'm looking at the 1 hour. Okay, so hold on. Let me pull it up here so you guys can see it. So we're looking at gold. We're looking at gold previous 4-hour. So the previous 4-hour candle for gold did in fact close bearish. And what it also did is it broke through a key low. So what does that look like on a smaller time frame? Well, it looks as if price is creating lower lows and lower highs. What I don't like about this structure is that it did break this high. Though respecting this high up here, it did in fact go and break that high, which to me would solidify that this bearish trend that it was on of creating this lower low, a lower high, a new lower low, we just broke that high, is now a potential flip for a continuation bullish. Definitely a chess match when it comes to trading. I still love this area for a potential bullish move, a bullish reaction, shall I say. But as far as, me and what I'm able to take on the day, I'm done. This it can go without me. If it's gonna push, it's gonna push. If it doesn't push, we know why. We'll see that change of character happen. We will see price create the lower lows and lower highs, and this is just one of those days. One of those days that with proper execution would still be, one of these weeks with proper execution, we don't even have a drawdown. We get 1-to-1 on this trade here, 500. 1-to-1 on that trade, or 1-to-2 on that trade is like 800 because I didn't risk nothing crazy on that one. And then this trade right here should be at a 0.5 instead. That's the only difference. I wouldn't not take the trade, but I should have taken it at a 0.5. And then, we have that there. And then our 2 wins, which are break evens now, would have accommodated for the 1 loss. So things to improve on, not a bad day. Not a bad day. You can see that this is, let's see if this closes bullish. Because this might have been the trade of our day. And if that's the case, then we know, and then we'll work it for tomorrow. I don't have the, you know what? I do have an account that I could scale in on this trade, theory-wise. Here, this is. Yeah, let's see if this is going to be the move. It's already looking as if that's what it's going to be. That's what it's looking like it's going to be. It's looking like this was our premium zone, our premium area where we just should have looked to take our entry. Based on the amount of volume we've gotten in this 5-minute candle alone. You can see the candle that we got, not the strongest entry candle on that 5-minute time frame. I did, in fact, scale in on this move on very, very low risk to reward, or very, very low risk, shall I say, on an additional 200K account that I have. Just as not to, let's see, how do I say this? Just as a confidence trade, a confidence trade in the system. We know what have went wrong today, and then we'll be able to execute and demolish the next trade, the next setup. And then this builds that confidence, like I said, in the system that this was the move of the day that we should have been waiting for. Despite this reaction here, if it goes up, let it go. Leave that. But let's see if this is going to be. So I am in on this position. On a, like I said, very, very low risk on a different 200K funded account. This is a 100K challenge, so this is a challenge account. But this will just be more so for the confidence than the actual profits gained. But I'm gonna, modify and work this trade as if it were, gonna do the same exact thing that I would do for, if this was on any of these other accounts that I have. I'm gonna execute on it, modify it the same exact way. The same exact way. Let me put a stop loss on the trade. Stop loss is 1.11185. 1.11185. Yeah, and the volume already, just based off of how this 5 minute candle is reacting, or the previous 5 minute candle reacted off of this move, it's almost like that. Don't get me wrong, this is definitely the area and the entry that I would have wanted. Being that if I didn't use my risk percentage on the day, and then you start to ask yourself, well, is it worth it to not take this trade and simply miss out on the potential 1 to 3.4 risk reward, or is it better to protect your capital and save? And realistically, trades are always going to come. There's going to be another trade. What I need to do is abide by my system so that I don't put myself too down in a hole, protect myself in a singular day. So that's why I didn't want to take this trade, is because, or simply didn't. Well, I did take the trade on a different account, but on this account specifically, because this is the account that I've been talking about, that we're going to grow and try to scale to, that 5 million, total allocation of capital with this firm, with a nice reputable firm. So yes, I did take it on a different account as like a confidence trade, but essentially this was the premium zone. This was the premium trade, and it's executing how the premium zone and premium trade should have executed. Previous 15-minute close bearish, so we could see some resistance at this level here, and then price to continue pushing down. That's okay. That's okay. So what I'm gonna do is just move stops to break even on the trade. 1.11227. Okay. 227. Alright, so I'm gonna give this a little bit more time, and then that'll likely just wrap up today's session for me. Let's go to YouTube. And we'll be back for those in the premium group. I'll be sending out my trade setup and idea for Asian session tonight, and then I will let me make sure that I'm still active up here. Okay, yeah, cool. So I update everybody on Asian session of the trade that I look to take then. It's looking like this is, it has all the works of executing to our full potential. We know that price was creating higher highs and higher lows. Took this scale in trade, should have been at a 0.5, so we could take this one at a 0.5 for a continuation. The first initial trade, which was from this area here to break this high, went to full take profit. So 2 trades that went to full take profit, and this is an unfortunate consistency, but it's a consistency that we've seen, is that all of these trades, of the 14 trades in the past 3 weeks, we get one final actual true loser, and still just not in that profit target potential or profit potential for what we were looking for. And it's likely that if we get that first trade, I don't take an additional trade. The only reason why we took the additional trade is because we didn't get the first trade. So things that can be improved on today. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I scaled into this trade on a different account for dollars on the, for pennies on the dollar. But it's simply just to work the system, just keep working the system and work the reps. That's why I encourage people to get a demo account and trade the demo account. A lot of people don't like trading demo accounts because you don't get to make any money, but you get those reps. You get those live action reps of in the market data, and you start to build that confidence. And then you get to your live account, and live account obviously generally has a little bit more pressure to it, but you start to get to that or funding challenge or whatever, and you'll have built up that confidence to be able to just execute and continue to execute on whatever said trade is. So that is going to wrap up today's session. Was looking like a break-even day, ended up with a 1% loss. Not bad, not bad. On the past 2 weeks, well, for this account, that's the first. Today is the first. Last night, another trade. Stopped out at break-even. Moved stops to break-even prematurely. I sent it to the group. We broke it down earlier in the stream. So, lots of value. Lots of value. Very little profits. Very little profits. But lots of value today. Lots of things that we can build on. And it's just about getting 1% better. It's not about winning every trade. It's not about being right. But it's about, executing to our full potential. That's all it is. And so we didn't execute to our full potential today. But that's something that we can learn and grow on for tomorrow. For tonight. It's not over. The week has just begun. We're going to have a ton of volume this week. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities that we're going to be able to capitalize off of. And we're going to turn this week around. So we got about a $840 P&L. I mean, really, we're about a little bit over $1,000 because what truly matters is your balance. So it's not the P&L that matters. It's the account balance. So we need to make about $14,000 on this account to pass this challenge. So now that takes us up to about 15, but we can do it. We can get it done. We can see in the past 3 weeks that we shouldn't have lost any, but this one. We shouldn't have lost any trades and should have had well more profits. And let me look. So in the past 2 weeks on the account that I had been trading, let's see where we're at. We should probably be somewhere about, we just lost 1%. So somewhere near, let's see, trading dashboard. Let's include today's, as today counts. Yeah, so a little bit over $4,800 on this account in the past, or since the start of this month. So relatively in the past 2 weeks, not bad, not great, but not bad. So we'll be back tomorrow for that session, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the New York